Hi, I'm Ann Sagendorph from The Power of Business and Style. And today's video is on how to work in your genius 80% of the time. What I hear often from entrepreneurs is they have to do things that they hate, that they're not good at, which is really, that eats up your time and energy and your money. But they think they have to, they don't have enough money, etc., etc. So today is about looking at how to work in your genius and not work in your competence and incompetence, which other people can do, and why that's so important. So let's talk a little bit about what genius is. Genius is your personal magic. It's what you can do all day and feel great at the end of the day, even though you're tired. And so when I was working with the Hendricks, and when I studied with them at the Hendricks Institute, one of the things that we talked a lot about was the genius catalyst and how to work with that. So today we're going to explore it. So think about this. In fact, I think I'll put this up. I'm going to share the screen so that you can see it. Hang on, I will do that. There we go. So, so you can see the genius catalyst. I'm going to pull this other thing down. There we go. And what you'll see is that we can be in genius, we can be in excellence, we can be in competence, and we can be in incompetence. So when we're thinking about genius, it's really what is your unique ability. As I said earlier, it's your personal magic. It's what you most love to do. You may not be the best at it, but you're really good at it. And it also produces the highest amount of money for the time you spend. And most often, just like as I'm doing these videos right now, I know some people would hate doing videos. I actually love doing them. And I'll just share a little thing from my own life. My husband came in one day after I had done a video and he says, "How do you do that? You know, like you just engaged with people and you're looking at a screen with no people there." And I said, "I guess I just love talking to myself." So for some reason, I feel engaged with you, even though you're not here. But hopefully you will be here soon on YouTube. The second thing is excellence. You're better at it than most people, but oftentimes it's a way of playing safe. And how I notice that in my own life is that some of the people that I coach, most of the people I coach, I feel like I'm in my genius. And then there are people that come along sometimes and I work with them, but honestly, I probably should say to them, maybe you should go someplace else. I feel I'm good with you, but maybe I could be better with someone else and you'd be better with somebody else. But excellence can also be fine. It's just that if you're playing it safe, then you want to look at that. The next is doing things that you're competent at, but other people are just as competent. The example I use often is Xeroxing your own copies. If you charge $100 an hour or $200 an hour or $400 an hour and you're doing your own copying, you're losing a lot of money every moment. And it's not just about money, it's about really a waste of your energy, because if you were in your genius, you would, one, be happier. Two, you would be, you know, one of the things that we say in your personal magic, and I talked about that in the last video very briefly, your personal magic, which is what allows you to be a great marketer for your business. That's why you can't just turn your marketing over to somebody else. I mean, I have people that do some things for me, and I'm grateful that they do because I'm not very good at them. But one of the things of connecting and engaging with people is that is your personal magic. That is your genius inside of what you do. No one can talk about your business like you do. And it's really important to consider that before you hire some outside person for a lot of money to sell you. I've always found that when I come into what my vision really is, what my intention is for clients, who I am in the matter of service, that is more inspirational to people as marketing than any, what do I want to say, email that's sent by somebody else, or a Facebook page, even though I have one and I'm glad I do. It's just me personally being there is so much more powerful in attracting clients. So competence is that place where you're going through the motions and you're maintaining the status quo. And oftentimes people, and I feel hesitant to say this, but I will say it. I had a client years ago, and well, maybe we'll talk about incompetence. Let's talk about incompetence, and I'll just add this in. So incompetence is what many, many people can do better than you. One of those things in my life is technology. I'm terrible at it. I can surface the top of my Apple, my iPad, and my iPhone, but I know nothing deep about technology. But if you come into my company as a client, you will think that we are technologically savvy because I have someone who is technologically savvy. I have someone who's great at social media. So because I can't do all of those things, nor should I be. So I'll give you the great example of incompetence. I had a client who I really love, and she was going to send out things on Constant Contact, except for one problem. She did not know how to use Constant Contact. And I'm not making this story up. She decided that she would teach herself. Now, this woman is an artist, and she's a fabulous artist. So you can imagine what Constant Contact or any of those, things could be for her. She could show her art on, talk to people. She could send out an email each week, show one of her paintings, and people would have bought them. But instead, she started in January teaching herself Constant Contact. And what I'd like to tell you is that by June, she had not sent anything out. And that's why when you look at competence and incompetence, the first one, competence, is maintaining the status quo, and incompetence is suffering and frustration. How much do you think that costs you? Not just in money, but in your life, in your joy of your business. And so I want to invite you to start looking at that. And then I want to tell you how to work with it. So I'm going to move this so you can see. So living in genius can be your commitment. So it inspires other people to live in theirs. To live in your zone of genius most of the time. And to commit the majority of your time to creating there. So we see all of this. I'm going to just move it because you don't need to do all of this. But what I want to say is that we have a way of working with this in a simple way. When you're in your incompetence, you can drop it, you can delegate it, you can do it and develop your skills. That's the most important thing to look at with this. And what I want you to understand is that your business is not about suffering and frustration. There will always be things that you don't know how to do. One of the things that I say about my clients, I'm going to stop sharing here. One of the things I say about most of my clients, because they are entrepreneurs, is they're continually creating out of nothing. That's a powerful gift to the world, but it's also a scary gift because there's usually no agreement. You're creating something new. And nobody says, oh my God, isn't that the greatest thing? I mean, sometimes they do. But oftentimes when you're first starting, they say, well, I don't know if people are really going to like this. And in a way, I think it's part of the reason that I'm so committed to coaching, by the way, because I'm one of those people who continually creates out of nothing. I mean, how many people have a business that's business coaching, beyond business as usual, and dress for your future, color and style? And yet I do both, and I love doing both, and I'd be not full if I didn't do both. And so we want you to look at your genius. What am I great at? Better than most people. But I also want you to look at what you're doing still, where you're either doing something that you're competent at or incompetent. And let's spend one more second on incompetence. Every time you do things that you are incompetent at, you're wasting time that you could be in your personal magic. And so the money that you think you'd be spending that you don't have, you would make more money the minute you committed to giving somebody who loved to do that thing you're incompetent at, for me, technology, two things would happen. One, you would free up your head. Two, you would free up your heart and your body so that you would be open to receiving from a whole new place. When we're frustrated, we are not receiving. We're shutting ourselves down. Please remember that. The minute you get frustrated, the minute you're mad that you have to do this stupid thing you don't understand anyway, whether it's constant contact or, some kind of technology that I would certainly pull my hair out doing, you're wasting time and money. The minute you hire somebody to do that, the other thing that happens is you become bigger. When I was being trained by my mentor, Patricia McDade, the cost of her program, I remember years ago, was $2,800. It was $400 a month for 7 months. Now, 20 years ago, 23 years ago, that was a lot of money. Now that does not seem like a big deal. But I remember the first time and I thought, oh my God, it's $2,800. And then I remembered what Patricia said. The minute you commit to something bigger than yourself, something that's a stretch, something that's a go for, you immediately get bigger. And so I invite you today to get bigger. Get bigger in looking at what your personal magic is. Look and see where you're wasting your time and your money because you're not using your personal magic. And I invite you to start to shift it as soon as you can, actually, because the more time you spend in your personal magic and your genius, the more money you make. So thank you so much for being here. I love doing these. You can connect with me, Facebook, the Power Business and Style page. Let's see, The Power Business and Style, especially, go and read about the work. But also if you want to make a 30-minute free appointment with me to talk either about dressing for the future for yourself or beyond business as usual, coaching for yourself. And, my commitment is that my clients double, triple, or quadruple their income. And I have a little joke. It's like people who come and don't take the coaching, they do double their income, most of them. I mean, some of them are resistant, but most of them do. But if you really take the coaching, you triple and quadruple your income. I mean, it's my intention for every client if they come to play. So thank you very much. And thanks for taking yourself seriously enough to watch this, because I know this is serious information. And I will talk to you next week. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.